So I bought the True North paramotor with the Viper 200 motor on it from Vortex Aero. True North is actually separate from Vortex. They're out of Shreveport, but since I bought this, it looks like their website has kind of shut down, and they're not really responding to questions. And when this thing runs, it runs great, but from day one, I've always had trouble getting it started. The pull starter was pretty much pointless. It wasn't until I got a battery for the electric start that I was able to get it started and go flying. But there were times when even the electric start wouldn't work, and it was so bad that basically the electric start, the first one I had on there, burned out, and the pull start rope wore out for me yanking on it repeatedly trying to get it running. And I sent it in. It was supposed to be free repair. I can't remember what the warranty was on it, but very soon after I got it, I sent it in, and they sent me back another motor. I'm almost certain that it was a completely different motor than the one that I returned to them. They claimed that it was just a short in the throttle line, but I'm not buying it just because the head looked different. I think they just swapped out the whole thing. So all in all, I got up to 64 and a half hours on it, and for the second time, the starter burned out. So I was kind of at my wit's end and thinking about, just junking the motor and putting a Moster on the frame, because I really like the frame from True North. It's lightweight. I like the look of it. I like the spacing between the swing arms. I fit in there nicely. I like the hang points. I can reach my risers without being cramped up. So I really like the frame, but I was just sick of the motor. So just doing some online research, I came across a video by Blue Sky PPG where they're showing how to test a starter motor. So just on a lark, I contacted those guys to see if they had any starter motors that they would recommend, because I didn't want to buy another Vortex Aero starter after I've had two of them burn out after only 64 hours. Dave at Blue Sky PPG did have a starter motor that he said would be far superior, so I ordered one from him. But while I was doing that, he also, asked me a few questions about how this thing was running otherwise, and I told him about how the pull starter never did the job. And without trying to sell me any extra parts or anything like that I didn't need, he started kind of running through a list of things to do to make sure that this thing was in spec and able to run right. And the biggest thing that he talked to me about was adjusting the gap for my ignition coil between the ignition coil and the flywheel. Just looking at it, I didn't really think that it was adjustable, but he let me know that the ignition coil does move. You can loosen it up, and you can adjust the air gap between the coil and the magnets on the flywheel, and that will greatly improve your spark. So he sent me a video of an old guy doing a adjustment on a lawnmower, but same principle, and no expensive tools needed. All you have to do is cut out a piece of plastic from a jug of milk, and that's the right thickness. So you just loosen up the mounting bolts on your ignition coil, pull it away from the flywheel because the magnets are going to attract each other, and you put that little sliver of plastic in there to set the right depth, and then tighten it back down, and then pull the piece of plastic out, and lo and behold, for the first time ever, this thing cranked right over after just a couple of pulls. And after it was warm, I shut it off and it started on the first pull. An amazing difference. And Dave at Blue Skies PPG knows what he's talking about, and he's not out there to gig you for a bunch of extra money. So now I don't have to throw this thing in a burning dumpster. It starts easily with a pull starter for the first time ever. And I'm going to be lazy anyways. I'm going to go ahead and put the electric start back on there just because I prefer it. But yeah, now my Viper 200 will actually start.